Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Refurb Wednesdays. My name's Nic Clark and today we're looking at a 6-bedroom HMO with ensuite conversion that we're currently doing at the moment. Now, before when we actually reviewed this property, we're in the strip out stage where we're stripping everything out. We started actually making sure that we actually replaced all the floor joists downstairs, which will show you an update of how that looks. But the key thing that we're looking at in this room specifically is we've done quite a lot of alterations, and it's alterations that actually once the finished product is there you won't actually see, but it's so important that we've had to make them that the actual only professional joiners and teams that you're working with will actually know what they're looking for. So let's have a look into what that specifically is and why we've actually made those changes. Okay, so what you'll notice here is obviously we've got a lot of floor joists exposed here. We've put new floorboards down, so replace the old floorboards with obviously flooring. But what we have done is you'll notice these new floor joists over here. That's just what they're doing. The purpose of it is to raise the actual floors, okay? So when we come in here, the floor joists were actually bowed slightly, so it wasn't actually level. And when we actually look at our HMOs, we need to ensure that the actual partition walls that we actually put in place, so all the joinery that we put in for the en-suites, it sits on a level playing ground, okay? So good solid foundation. Like a house, you want to make sure that's level, it's on good solid foundations. Internally, you want to make sure that your floor joists are all level. And the problem you have with large properties like this, terrace properties, is that sometimes you have to replace the floor joists. Sometimes they've bowed over time because the actual wood is just kind of over time, all that foot traffic, etc. It's just kind of worn because of age, really, more than anything else. So what's had to happen is we had to lift up all the floorboards, okay, and we've had to put in this, obviously the actual new, like just raise it slightly with these actual pieces of wood down here, where we've been able to make sure that we've actually increased it, get this floor actually level. And what they've been able to do this is that when the actual en-suites are put in and it's the end result, they put the doors on itself in the actual door frames. What will happen is the door frames will be super square, okay? So if I'm not putting on, say, an uneven, uneven floor, then what happens is the actual the actual door frames will obviously move over time because it hasn't got something sturdy on it. And when you put that door back in, you're gonna have to shave off some of the door in there. These will fit in nice and square. Now, that might not mean a lot to a lot of people, but when you look at it in terms of material costs, labor, time, time because obviously you've had to get them to do it. It's all those little things. When you come into the end, you want to pretty much, you put your doors on, they fit, and then that way you're not going back, you're shaving off doors, etc. You want to make sure that everything's done properly. So it's all these little things that people don't actually realize that need to be looked at within your refurbs that matter most, okay? Now, listen, not every single property needs to be done like this. This is a really big refurb that needs to be done. We bought it in a terrible state, and we knew that the bottom floor joists need to be replaced because of all the actual moisture issues and the wood rot that was in there. Those need to be done. That was the lower ground floor. But then we also knew that this floor was actually not level, so we've had to do this, okay? But not every single property would do this in, because sometimes it's just not worth it. But with the HMOs, we definitely need to consider it for the sheer fact is it will cost more in time and labor on the back end of the actual property, and of course maintenance issues in the future. So let's dive downstairs, let's have a look at what's been happening up there so we can actually see the progress on the actual build. So the other thing that we've started doing is obviously lowering the ceilings as well. So the reason why we do that is so we can put in like sort of the sewage pipes, making sure that we have got the soil pipes in there, and any cabling, say first fix, electrics we need to do, or actual plumbing as well. Because we need to have the right gradient to apply for building regulations as well for the actual soil pipes, so we can get the waste out of the building. The last thing you want to be doing is that just to build up a waste in the property, so those need to be in the right angles. And what this allows us to do, especially in these old properties, the ceilings are really, really high. We can lower it down, and obviously we can create a new, we can actually board it out, and we can make sure that it's nice, freshly plastered in the end result as well. So the joiners are in the process of doing that as well. So once the floors are done, the ceilings are done, then obviously we'll start on the partitioning walls down in the rest of the property as well for the ensuite and the rest of the layouts as well. Okay, so we're in the 6th bedroom at the moment. The last time we weren't able to get into here because we just put a lot of waste in here through the property because we're waiting for extra skips and we didn't have a place to put it. But this is all stripped out now, and the beauty about this is actually previously before they'd boarded up, and there was about the walls itself with regards to the wallpapers, they'd boarded over the wallpapers, they'd brought the room in. We pretty much gained an extra 6 inches in space on around all the walls. Okay, so that doesn't sound like a lot of space, but in a room where we thought was going to be a bit smaller than what we would like, now it's been able to get a lot bigger. Okay, and 6 inches doesn't make sound like a lot, but if you're talking 6 inches of this wall and this wall, that's 1 foot. That's that much worth of space in the room, and that's squared as well, which is great. So that was brilliant news for us as well, and brilliant news for our clients. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be the 6th bedroom with an ensuite, so it's going to look really, really good once it's finished. Okay, so what you'll see quite differently from what's happened in this property previously, what we have done is we've actually broken through to the side wall over here. We've moved the front door from the front of the house to the side. What that's enabled us to do is keep everything here in, this is the fire zone. So we'll make sure that everything is boarded where it needs to, or fire doors are in here as well, because this is a means of an escape route. And obviously all the kind of necessary things that need to be done here for fire regulations will be done. But it means that the communal area can just stay the kitchen communal area. It's going to be a nice big space, 33 square meters in total. But you'll notice obviously we've got new floor joists in here. As I said, we've replaced the whole ground floor. That was necessary. It did need to be done, because if it didn't, when you're walking on the floor, you could feel the floor move, and that is not right, and you shouldn't be done there as well. Obviously we've in the actual main room there, we've done any damp course treatment that's needed to be done as well, which is great. But the next thing to be done is breaking through this wall over here. So let's have a look at that. Okay, so this wall over here, this is a load bearing wall. So we're actually going to be breaking through in here. So what will happen is we'll have this big massive kitchen communal space over here and through to the rear of the property as well. Okay, so we'll have the kitchen units going from the rear of the property all the way to the front. So we've got enough unit space there as well. We're going to have to put 2 kitchen sets in ready, so 2 fridge freezers, 2 ovens and hobs, 2 wash basins as well. We can put 1 wash basin and a dishwasher, but we've decided to put 2 wash basins in there, as well as we're going to have to put a separate washer and a separate dryer in. Now we do those on the 4 beds and the 5 beds anyways, put 2 wash and dryers in. That way it just makes it easier for people to do wash in and get a quick turnaround on it anyway. That's more for convenience, not a regulation point of view. So because this is licensed, we need to put a proper fire system in place, not just a hardwired fire system. So that will be getting done as well. The actual main fireboard will be going in the actual hallway. But what's going to happen is this is going to get broken down, and we're going to have a steel beam going across as well, and just making sure that we take it as high as possible there. So we can open up into one big massive space as well. So it's going to look good. Just remember, whenever you are taking strength out of a building, you need to put strength back in. The biggest mistake you can, is going to be a massive costly mistake, is if you knock a load bearing wall down and then you don't put the strength back into it, you cause some major structural issues. So it's got to be done professionally. Don't do it yourself. Get a professional in to be able to do it from there as well. So that's going to be a massive adjustment that we need to do here as well. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this refurb on this update. There's going to be some massive progress coming up now. We're at the joinery stage now, where we're going to start seeing a lot of progress coming through. So partition walls are going to go up. We've already seen drop in the ceilings where the ceilings need to be dropped as well. And then we'll have obviously the other things like making sure that the actual walls that need to be broken through are broken through as well, and strengthening is put back in. So I'm looking forward to the progress. Make sure that you've liked and subscribed to our channel. Please make sure that you hit the notification bell as well for any updates that we do have with any properties that we're currently refurbing at the moment. And any questions that you do have, head over to either Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, Property with Nic Clark. And you can ask any questions that you do have. Otherwise, if you want to profit from UK property, but you certainly just don't have the time, you've got the money to invest, but you're very time poor because you're committed to your jobs, you've got your family, etc. And you want to replace your income to redefine your retirement one property at a time, head to jenicproperty.com where you can book in a free call with us where we can identify what your strategy is best based on your short-term and long-term goals, and how we can help you profit from UK property with minimal time effort. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Nic Clark, helping you profit from UK property, and I'll see you in next week's Refurb Wednesdays.